Hello, everybody, and welcome to this chat with one of our founding members of Data School New York, Jack Parry. Thanks for joining me, Jack.
Thanks, Andy.
Tell everybody a little bit about your background and how you ended up on Team New York.
Sure. So I studied a degree in neuroscience, first of all, at Bristol. And when I finished that, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, but kind of enjoyed the data analysis side of things through that course. Like there was a little bit of statistics. We never touched anything like Tableau, but I enjoyed that side of things. And then I was looking for roles and things to do afterwards, and I sort of stumbled across IT consultancy, which I don't know, it didn't scream out to me, but I know I was applying to so many graduate schemes, didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I actually had a chat with Tom Brown because I used to babysit for his kids years and years ago.
Good connection to have then, huh?
Yeah, not a bad one. But so Tom and I had a chat, and this was more about the roles I was applying to, and because I knew that's kind of what his company did. And so we had a conversation about that, and he mentioned this thing called the Data School, and to be honest, at the time I kind of brushed it off. I went to these other interviews. I did get one of them, but it was based out in Staines, and I was like, oh, do I really want to do this? Probably not.
That's not that far out.
That far, but at the time I was like, I kind of sold myself on knowing Python, and I didn't know Python.
Okay.
And they were like, you're going to have to really get good at this in a few months. So I was like, oh, okay, not too sure. And so I was sort of still at loose end. And then I was like, you know what, I'll apply to the Data School, see what that's all about. Sort of spent that summer learning Tableau and getting hands-on with it before going off and doing some traveling. So I applied to the Data School in the summer of 2018, went off, did some traveling, and then came back and had my final interview when I came back, and then got into DS12, which started end of 2018. Obviously had the training with yourself and Carl and everyone else, really enjoyed that. And then I did my full placement. So my P1 was, funny enough, I turned down a job out in Staines, but then I found myself going out to Heathrow every day. So that was with IAG Cargo out there. Really good experience. I mean, the commute was not fun, but I think as first placements go, you get a lot of responsibility. It's a mixture of Tableau and Alteryx. There's a bit of SQL in there as well. So, you know, it's a really well-rounded placement. My P2 was with HRG, who are a corporate travel agent. They got taken over by American Express Global Business Travel. That was a very different experience. Whereas at IAG, you're with some other data schoolers and quite a big team, and it's sort of more of an established placement, I would say. You turn up, they're expecting you, they've got stuff for you to do. HRG was very different in that I was the first person there. I was the only person there. It was a much smaller team. And within 2 months of me being there, both of the managers left.
Oh, God.
I was sort of in this free-falling team for a few months, which was a strange experience at first because I didn't have much to do, and I found that difficult to deal with because it's this weird concept that people are paying for your time and are perfectly fine with you not doing anything.
Right.
But that allowed me to work on other things. Like I got into Salesforce and AWS and some other side topics. So once I got comfortable with not doing anything on placement, then it really benefits you because you can just do what you want to do and work on the skills that you want to improve. And then I did my last two placements with PwC. That was sort of once COVID hit, but those were my favorite placements, even though it was like 98% remote, I would say. The team there is really nice. There's some very strong like Tableau and Alteryx users within there anyway. But it was nice to be there. And I actually got offered a job by them at the end, but I clearly turned that down and decided to join the core team. And sort of, I guess, so I joined the core team a year ago now. And throughout that whole time, I've sort of slowly been working with Toby Sharpe, the head of Data School New York, behind the scenes a little bit. So that started off with supporting some seeing as believing engagements, helping scope out those projects from a more technical standpoint. That's kind of transitioned over time into supporting Toby on the more commercial side of the business with sales, getting data schoolers placed, and sort of acting as account manager on some of the accounts now. So it's a very different role, I guess, the consultancy that I've been used to for the last 3 years before that, but it's one I'm enjoying and I'm excited to be a part of the team. I think it's a really good team that's for me.
It sounds like you're learning a heck of a lot then too from, all these very different placement experiences, which kind of, I guess, prepare you for being a consultant in the core team because you're constantly switching between different companies. And then you get this commercial side and sales and all of that helps you learn that part of the business. What are you going to be doing then with the team in New York?
So I think a lot of the stuff I've been doing will carry on. It'll probably grow more as well. So I guess at the moment, I have one account that I seriously look after. So we've got 2 people working with a client currently based out of the UK, but working US hours, and I'm sort of in charge of trying to grow that account. So yesterday we had one of our consultants present at their internal user group to showcase what the data school is all about and how other teams can engage with us. Other things in New York, there'll be support for the data school, of course, and I'm sure I will be roped in to be doing some of the training as well. Which to be honest,
you will be.
I know I will. Yeah. It's not a might, it's a definite.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoy that side of things as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's some of the stuff I've been doing already as well. We deliver enablement sessions for clients in the US as a means of trying to knock down the door, let's say, to show off what we can do.
Yeah. So those seeing is believing projects give companies an insight into what our data school consultants can do. So they last about a week, if I remember right. So how does that, what's the kind of general impression you're getting from clients? So you had this one last week. I assume it went really well. I saw some chat about it on Convo. What's kind of the general reaction of people when they're going through one of these projects and they see these outputs?
Generally, people are very, very impressed because I think some of the projects that we're always ambitious with the scope. If something, some clients might pitch to us and we'll say, well, we could do that in a day or so. So we'll stretch it, and we want
to give us more, right?
Yeah, we want to push the consultant as well. So we had one with a client earlier this year where it was a 2-week project actually. It was Liam Wood did this with BCG, and we said, they said, we're really not sure you can do this in 2 weeks. And we were like, no, 100%, it's absolutely fine.
Commit for him.
Liam sitting there being like, is it fine? I don't know. But I was like, yeah, don't worry, we'll get it done.
And we're here to support you. Yeah,
exactly. And you've got the whole support of the information lab, not just in the UK, but globally behind you. So it's one consultant, but they're backed up by loads of consultants, and they were blown away by what Liam produced. And similarly, last week, they're really impressed. And so I'd say like 95% of the time they're really successful. The only times when they're not is when you sometimes get clients who feel like they're doing you a favor, giving you the project, and it can be frustrating because you're sitting there trying to chase up the data and making sure everything's in place, and really all they're getting is a week of free work.
Right.
They have to turn up to the
There's nothing but value in it for them.
No, and so like that's when you don't get so much buy-in from the client, and it can make it more difficult.
Yeah, and that's going to happen. Yeah,
exactly. It's not going to be 100% successful, but
what are you looking forward to the most when you move over to New York?
I think it's the thing I'm looking forward to the most. It's also the thing I'm the most scared about, which is interesting. But I think just being in a completely new place, I'm really excited for that. That's one of the main reasons I want to go, because I grew up in London. I've lived in South London all my life, other than the 3 years I was at Bristol. And I'm a big fan of London, but the world's a big place. I'd like to go and
it's bigger than London for sure. Yeah,
exactly. Like I'd like to just go and put myself out of my comfort zone, really. And of course, I'll have the team at the information lab with me there, but I'll be leaving lots of friends and family back in London. So I'm excited for that, but it's also daunting. Split between the two. But on the whole, I'm very, very excited for it.
Well, as someone that's made the adjustment in the reverse order, it's great to have that kind of instant group of friends from the information lab that you can do things with and gradually meet people and and all of that. Yeah,
That's the great thing about our model. Even if I make no friends, we get 8 new people every month. So
exactly. Yeah, you get 8 new friends, 8 new friends every month. Yeah, yeah,
that's right.
yeah. Other than picking your life up and moving to New York, what are you looking forward to for work?
For work, I guess the changing nature of the role is exciting. Getting hands-on with everything. I guess I'm looking forward to doing more teaching, to be fair. But learning that more commercial and sales side of things is, I think, the main thing I'm looking forward to, because um, I've built up lots of skills over the last 3 years being a consultant, and I feel like I'm fairly competent with that. But this is now like a whole other side to the
Right.
organization. It's like, it's almost like starting again in a way.
Yeah.
Just, you know,
Yeah.
it's not like I'm going to go through 4 months of training. It's going to be very much learning on the job this time around. But
Yeah.
it is a completely new role
Yeah.
and things like that.
I mean, you're basically starting a new company, so you have to be a jack of all trades, right? And you know, even if somebody calls in sick or something, you're going to have to be able to pick that up. Yeah. What are you looking for in recruits for New York?
I think we're looking for people with a willingness to learn. So, you know, not everyone is going to be well versed in data before they join us.
Sure. Yeah.
But, you know, if you've got that attitude that, you know, you can pick yourself up, you can keep running with something, even if you don't take to it immediately in the first 2 weeks. You know, you might struggle with Tableau, you might struggle with Alteryx, but if you've got that resilience and that drive in you, I think that's what makes a successful candidate. And we see that with the application process, right? You have to put in a lot of work. And I've even had people in the UK come to me and ask about the information lab and the data school, because I really like working here, and people look at me and they say, oh, why, like, you really like your job, what do you do? But then you explain the work that has to go in to get into the company, and lots of people are like, oh, that's quite a lot though,
I can't be bothered. Yeah.
I'm bothered. And I'm like, well, don't bother then.
Yeah, we don't want you then. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that passion for learning is really important.
What made you most successful during your training?
I think asking lots of questions. Never be afraid to ask questions, because there's never a silly question when you're starting out, well, ever really, just even through your training or placement. Ask questions, and don't be afraid to know what you don't know. You know, you're not going to be an expert at everything. You're going to get very good at Tableau and Alteryx and other things, but as you go through that journey, you don't need to overwhelm yourself with, you know, joining and doing every workout Wednesday and every makeover Monday and every Alteryx weekly challenge. You need to just take everything in moderation, because training's tough and it's intense, and you don't want to burn out in that process. So it can be, you know, you join and you're so excited, and it's great that people have that enthusiasm, but making sure you stay on top of your own well-being, I guess. Not stressing yourself out too much, because, you know, we're all here to support you, and everything will be okay if you are struggling.
So you said ask a lot of questions. Everybody I've interviewed has said ask a lot of questions if you want to be successful, but that's easier said than done.
Yes.
How did you get comfortable asking questions?
I don't know. I think you'd maybe get yourself in the habit of just forcing yourself to try and ask like one question a week on Convo. Even if it starts really small, just one a week, put something out there that you're unsure of. And then all of a sudden it just becomes normal, because you see how quickly people respond and how keen people are to help. Even if it's a really simple question, people are going to be there helping you out. So
yeah, nobody's going to ridicule you for,
no
especially while you're in training, right? Well, nobody will ridicule you anyway, but especially while you're in training, everybody, you know, 90% of the company now has probably been through the data school.
Yeah,
so they know what the experience is like. So lean in on that.
And it never stops. Like, I ask questions on Convo.
Yeah.
So I know you ask questions on Convo.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and the quicker you can get to grips with that, the better. And
exactly.
So setting that almost like target for yourself to just ask.
Thanks for your time, Jack. I look forward to working with you and the team in New York.
Thanks, Andy. Been a pleasure.
Talk to you later. Bye.